What's up guys, Jake Lowry here, and today we are going to do something that is a little different than what we normally do, but I am actually very, very excited about it. So supposedly in Texas, there is this phenomena in the springtime when it rains a lot and the rivers and creeks, the water level gets super, super high. The white bass run up the creeks to spawn, and it makes for some of the most insane white bass fishing in the whole United States. Now, the reason it's going to be very interesting today is because I have never done anything like this before, and I don't even know if these fish are actually running. The only thing I'm basing today off of is an article that I read in the Texas DNR's website. But I'm very excited today because I have the backpack on, I got the Nalgene water bottle. We are going to do a bunch of hiking. We're going to do a bunch of fishing along a creek. Not something you get to do a lot in this area, but definitely something that I enjoy to do very much. So that said, the spot I'm at today is a relatively medium-sized creek that feeds into Lake Houston, and hopefully all of those white bass that reside in Lake Houston have ran up here to spawn, and we are in for an absolutely killer day. Again, this is a little different than something I normally do because this is more natural and wildlife-y than, typical bass fishing. We're really trying to get a hold of the just general fishing and seasonal fishing in this area. So pretty excited to do that, and definitely something that, a lot of people don't know about. I think we're gonna focus on a lot of these deeper areas in these ponds, maybe some brush spots for these running fish to stop and take a break for the current, and then also spots where these fish probably have good chances to end up, finding bait. That said, guys, why don't we take a look at the rig we're gonna be throwing today. I think it's gonna change just a little bit, but I think we're gonna have to be, flexible because we are figuring out a new style of fishing today, and that is going to be what is key for success. Okay guys, we're breaking out the spinning rod today. This is a Shimano Celius spinning rod, and then I have a Luz Laser SG spinning reel. The tactic we're going to be using today is moving baits. These white bass want to eat quick, fast, bright baits when they're on the spawn. So I right now have a Weston square bill crankbait that is in a chartreuse blue color that is going to absolutely look very, very good in this muddier water behind me. So again, very simple. We might switch it up to a spinner bait, and we also might switch it up to a little swim bait if this thing is continuing to get snagged in this brushy little creek. But overall, we're just gonna stay mobile, and hopefully after not too long, we end up catching a fish. So that said, the spot right next to me looks super good. So why don't we get the GoPro on and check it out and get a first couple casts and see if hopefully these fish are actually in this creek. All right guys, there's a better look at the crankbait we're gonna be using today, but essentially we have a deep pool right off in front of us, right below this bridge here, and I think this seems to be the absolute perfect spot we can get down in here and throw a first couple casts. Now I'm hoping we hook a fish pretty soon, but again, I have no clue what to expect, and all we can really do is just get our lure in the water and see if maybe there's some white bass actually in this spot. Okay guys, it seems a little more shallow than I had originally anticipated, but again, that's not gonna stop us from catching anything. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to watch out for the quicksand today. It's not gonna stop us from catching anything. We're just gonna have to figure out, where that deeper water is and where these fish are hanging out, because right here seems like, I don't know, only a couple inches deep, and that's not gonna cut it for these white bass. I'm gonna go up closer to this bridge, and maybe there's a little bit of a deeper hole right off the current seam on this bridge, and that might be the right spot, but man, this water is cold. It is February and we are fishing, guys. Come here. That's a perfect cast. Okay, definitely a little deeper right there. Definitely out in that current. There was like a distinct channel where these fish might be. Definitely don't want to get a snag immediately. I think we also have opportunity to catch some bass and maybe catfish and stuff in this creek. I really have no clue about this creek and I've never fished it before. So, you know, we could actually end up being in a very lucrative, like, little spotted bass spot too. I fished similar creeks like this before, closer to my house, and they actually were loaded with spotted bass. So I'm hoping that maybe there's a similar case here and we end up finding at least a couple fish today, because, you know, for my impressions of what this white bass fishing was going to be like, we probably should have already gotten a bite. Shallow. Okay, so there's a trail on the other side of the river that I actually want to get to, and it looks like, I mean, you guys can see that below me. If these fish are running upriver, it's going to be pretty challenging for them to get above some of these log jams. So maybe there's some sort of obstruction that's preventing these fish from moving upriver. And, you know, the further downriver I go, the more likely I am to probably to run into these fish. So I think we might be just a little too early at this spot. So what I'm going to do is go up to this bridge here, walk around, and then I'm going to hike all the way down this trail and see if I can't get into a location where these fish actually are, because right now I'm definitely not in the right spot. This bridge is pretty cool. Here's a big log jam out here. Let's see. I might have to do something a little fun. Oh. Classic. Okay. This looks very fun, guys. You see what I mean, though? It like might be hard for these fish to get upriver beyond this. This is like a huge jam, but maybe right below it is where all these fish are staged. Doesn't help to get a snag. Come on. Gonna have to be pretty accurate with my cast here to get around this tree right in front of me and, you know, to the left of, there we go, all that mess. That was a much better cast. Come on. Hit a little sandbar. All right, let's back off this log. Whoa. I might have misread the fishing report today. And I might be a little early. Like by little, I mean like months. But we'll see. Let's go down a little. I want to get down to where this water is not moving as much. And hopefully we find something up here. This looks like I'm entering into the middle of the woods. We want to go down the Amera Trail. That's the loop. All right, we've figured out where we want to go. We're going down the Amera Trail. This should follow the creek that we're fishing and hopefully figure out where these little white bass are, because otherwise we're going to be in for a long hike out of here. Whoa, that is not good right there. That is a hole from a pig. I got a knife, but probably end up in a tree if I see one of those pigs around here. More pig signs. You could see where they got the root of whatever they were eating up. Looks like there's a trail through here to get down to the creek. I'm gonna go down there. I've been hiking for maybe 15, 20 minutes and see if maybe along this sandbar here there's some white bass or fish or anything like that. Whoa. That's one way to do it. Looks like there's a lot of like footprints, like someone was back in here fishing, but who knows, maybe they had the same idea that I did, or maybe I'm using the wrong thing for these white bass. Come on. It looks a lot deeper through here, which is generally a better thing. This would be a fun little creek to kayak if it had fish in it. All right, jackhammer with no trailer on. Let's see what this thing looks like in the water. Gives me a little more vibration. A little more flash, maybe. See if we can keep it up to the surface. Oh yeah. A little more vibration, a little more flash. Hopefully this thing helps me catch just something, man. Maybe even a bass in here would be nice. I don't even know if there's bass in here. I don't know what's in this little creek. But right now we can almost prove that there's nothing. Okay guys, I think I need to downsize. I'm watching some people catch some fish right behind me. And it looks like they're using some little curly tail grubs. So they're in here, I'm just not very good. So hopefully, I don't know if you guys can see that, we can get something picked off eventually, but I mean, they're catching in this spot, so for now, I think my best bet is that I was just using the wrong thing, something a little too big for what these fish want, and now I pretty much have the smallest lure I have tied on, so if it doesn't work here, we might have some issues. I also walked 2 miles all the way down here for not a whole lot of reason, because it appears you can park all the way down here, so maybe hitchhike back is the strategy from now on. End up in some situation. This looks like a pretty decent spot right here. Problem is, this water is just so muddy. No one's really moving at all. Alright guys, well, when in doubt, find a lure right there and see if you can't catch one on the found lure, because right now we are struggling. There are just a ton of people here. Here we go, guys, here we go. Starting to find some things that might actually help us out here. Fortunately for me, there's enough trash at the spot that I can actually put together a double jig head rig, and it appears that my rig looks very similar to what some of the other people are throwing in this area. So I think if I throw this around for, you know, maybe the next 20-30 minutes, I might end up with a fish on my line. Hopefully. If not, you know, it was worth a shot. Probably better odds than, you know, the lures I have in my box. Definitely don't want to lose these, because even though these are cheap lures, they're invaluable to me right now. Let's go. Man, finally. These things fight fun too. Man, does that feel good. This has been the biggest struggle to catch this tiny little fish. I mean, I've been out here for 3 or 4 hours, but does that feel good, man? First white bass. First white bass of the day. Nice little guy. I'm going to release him. I'm not going to keep him. Maybe if we can develop a pattern with these things, we can come back next week and do a little catch and cook. But so far, that feels really good, because it has been a struggle. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up the video. Unfortunately, we only caught one fish today. The fishing was kind of tough. I still think we're in the early parts and midst of the season. It seemed like the further we went down, the more white bass there were. I still had a very, very fun day today. We explored a little, we hiked around. I think we logged like 5 miles of hiking, so that was pretty fun. And honestly, this park is pretty cool and I might actually return. But pretty impressive that the only fish that we caught was on the lure that we found. I thought it was cool. Nothing I had in my box looked like the lures that the people were catching fish on around me. So I thought, why not go for a little hunt, find one, threw it on and caught a fish. So pretty impressive on my end. I'm actually very grateful that that even happened because it was looking like I wasn't going to catch absolutely anything. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, if you like the white bass fishing, it's a little different than largemouth bass fishing, let me know by liking the video and then commenting below. We'll continue to do this if this is something you guys are interested in. I know I'm very interested in potentially catching a mother load of white bass and doing a catch and cook. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, make sure you like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys next time.